Home buyers face further delays after the main contractor for 5 BTO projects goes out of business. ST understands Connect at Changi now takes in Covid-19 patients instead of international business travellers. And you can collect your free masks from today, but there is no need to rush. Good evening, you're watching The Big Story coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. I'm Haryanto Diman. You can subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you never miss a single episode. 5 BTO projects in Bukit Batok, Clementi, Bukit Panjang and Woodlands will face further delays as the main contractor for these projects has gone bust. All works at the 5 sites have stopped since August 20th. They are the Sky Vista at Bukit Batok, Senja Heights and Senja Ridges in Bukit Panjang and Marsiling Grove in Woodlands. The 5th one is West Coast Parkview in Clementi, located opposite West Coast Park. There are a total of 2,982 units in the 5 projects. HDB yesterday informed the affected home buyers that the main contractors, 2 related companies called Great Earth Corporation and Great Earth Construction, had, quote, run into financial difficulties and the projects would be further delayed. HDB did not specify the length of the delay but said home buyers would be kept updated on the situation once new contractors have been appointed and the construction schedules worked out. Great Earth informed HDB last week that it was unable to complete the 5 BTO projects despite the government assistance provided. HDB added it had explored possible solutions like advance-based payments, but the company did not have the financial ability to continue operations. In the meantime, contingency contractors will be brought in to secure the work sites and carry out housekeeping and vector control until the new contractors are appointed. The Straits Times understands that Connect at Changi, a facility initially used for international business meetings amid the pandemic, has been converted into a community care facility to house Covid-19 patients. It's located at Hall 7 and 8 of the Singapore Expo. Community care facilities are for patients with mild symptoms and lower risk factors to recover at, instead of going to the hospitals. For a closer look, journalist Toh Wei joins us now. Wei, what do we know so far about the plans to convert Connect at Changi into a community care facility? Because I understand you visited the area last night. What do you see?
What we know so far is that the facility has started taking in COVID-19 patients. From what I understand from staff there, it seems to have been operational as a CCF since Monday. So this is probably the 3rd day of operations. So there isn't anything around the facility near Expo to tell you that, hey, like this is now a facility caring for COVID-19 patients. But when I went there, both the front entrances and the back entrances were cordoned off. So it's not like you can just walk in quite easily. But I managed to speak to staff who were leaving the facility at night after work. So most of them declined to comment, but basically 2 of them confirmed that the facility is up and running. So from the outside, again, like you can't really see much, but when I went at around 9 p.m. yesterday to 10 p.m., there was quite a bit of activity. You could see like people coming out for smoke breaks from inside, the workers inside. And then I could also see a few staff members. They were dressed in like attire that looked like the attire of a local private healthcare provider here. So there's something going on inside. So we are not sure how many patients are being kept there at the moment to kind of get better. And also we are not sure yet how many rooms have been activated. But from what we heard last time from Connect at Changi, there should be around 600 rooms there now, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, that's the details that we have at the moment, and we are still waiting for a reply from the authorities.
Wei, this conversion raises questions about the future of the Connect at Singapore initiative, which was meant to facilitate global business exchanges and to support the revival of Singapore's air hub.
Yeah, correct. So because for the Connect at Singapore, it was announced in around, I think, November or December last year. And it officially started in February this year with the opening of Connect at Changi. So it's actually separate in the sense that Connect at Singapore is the initiative to like try to let business travelers into Singapore in kind of like maybe a bit of a bubble. So the traveler can come in, doesn't have to be quarantined as per your usual requirements. Like let's say like you can't meet anybody, but they can go to a facility where they can stay and they can hold meetings with, say, locals staying in Singapore through maybe designated rooms that won't let them physically sort of like, like interact with each other, but they can see each other through the maybe like a glass screen or something. Sorry, that was the idea of the scheme, to let people come in and have meetings in Singapore amid the COVID-19 pandemic. So at the start, it seemed quite promising. So, but it only appointed, like the only facility appointed for the Connect at Singapore initiative was Connect at Changi. So since February until now, only one of these facilities. And the problem is that since May, the scheme has been suspended with phase 2 heightened alert, and it hasn't resumed since. So it's 3 months since it's been suspended. And even like though it had a value as a kind of like experiment of sorts to start business travel during the pandemic with borders closed, it wasn't very successful in terms of absolute numbers, because I think in the 3 or 4 months that Connect at Changi was open, there were only around 120 bookings as of end May. So in terms of compared to the room numbers, there's not a lot. All these meetings would have happened without the facility, but so it still had some value and it gave the message that Singapore was open. But at the end of the day, if you look at it from a practical perspective, a business perspective, I don't think the numbers really tally. So with Connect at Changi now becoming a community care facility and seemingly no other facilities being lined up to replace it for Connect at Singapore, it does seem like it might be the end of the scheme. But we could be surprised. But I mean, at the moment, because like there are already a few other options for the travelers from some country to come into Singapore, such as the vaccinated travel lane, and also Singapore's unilateral east border restrictions to cities like Hong Kong, Macau, and New Zealand and such. But again, all this depends on where the travelers come from, whether their countries allow them to go up. But at the moment, it doesn't look very promising for the Connect at Singapore and Connect at Changi.
Journalist Toh Wen Li there with the updates on Connect at Changi being converted into a community care facility. Temasek Foundation's latest free mask distribution exercise got underway today, and in typical Singaporean fashion, the queues started forming from early this morning. The masks were quickly snapped up and out of stock by noon at some collection points. Now remember, there is no need to rush. Every household can collect 50 medical-grade surgical masks and 25 N95 respirator masks at selected malls and supermarket outlets island-wide from now until September 26. You can visit this website to check the nearest collection point, collection hours and stock levels of masks. A quick update on Singapore's vaccination progress. As at August 24th, more than 4.26 million people are fully vaccinated under the National Vaccination Programme, including those who received the jabs recognized in WHO's emergency use listing. 78% of the population have completed the full vaccination regimen, as represented by the orange line here, and 82% have received at least one dose. And last night, the Health Ministry reported 2 more deaths due to COVID-19 complications, bringing the death toll this month to 15. The first, an 86-year-old man who was partially vaccinated, died on Tuesday. The second, an unvaccinated 95-year-old woman who died yesterday. Singapore's total death count now stands at 52. Meanwhile, MOH also said that the cluster linked to Bugis Junction has grown to 61 cases after 38 new infections were added to it yesterday. 51 cases involved staff members who worked in Bugis Junction and 10 were visitors. Among the infected staff, 46 worked at the BHG department store, which will now remain closed until August 30th. Looking overseas, COVID-19 continues to spread. South Korea reported 20 people died from the virus yesterday, its highest daily count this year. The number of severe cases has also more than doubled since the current wave of infections began in July. Australia reported more than 1,000 new infections for the first time in this pandemic as cases surge in Sydney. Despite that, the state premier for New South Wales announced new freedoms for those who are fully vaccinated starting next month. And New Zealand's hard lockdown is having an impact in the fight against the Delta variant. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern saying that even though case numbers are rising, health officials have not seen the virus spread beyond Auckland and Wellington. It's Thursday, time to check in with my live colleagues. Well, foodies, I've good news for you. When the new Thomson-East Coast Line 2 starts running this Saturday, you'll have easy access to a slew of hawker eats and cafe fare. Pretty convenient as these eateries are located no more than a 10-minute walk from each station. Here to share more is food correspondent Eunice Quek. Hey Eunice, a variety of selections to choose from. Now, if I'm embarking on a TEL2 food trail, what would be your proposed itinerary?
Well, so I say for the most food options, start with the Upper Thomson station. That's like basically your cafe and dessert central. You might need a few days or, slowly plan out different days to go to different spots to try different food, because you can also head to Thomson Plaza as well. That's one of the exits on the MRT station. If you've got your walking shoes on, you might want to consider walking to Bright Hill MRT station actually, from Upper Thomson. You can, by the time you reach there, you probably want to head to Grub Bistro for a drink, some snacks, some cake, and then walk through Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park. Can walk it off there. You can then venture towards Mayflower MRT station if you're in the mood to continue walking, or you could also head over to Marymount Community Club for bubble tea and ramen.
Wow. Eunice, with the convenience of the MRT, having suppers, something my friends and we often do, will not be much of a problem. Are there any good supper spots along the TEL2?
Well, not too many that I feature open like super late, but I guess for maybe a late dinner, you want to grab an after meal drink, I would say firstly head to, Springleaf Paratha Place, which is of course at Springleaf Station, and actually further down towards quieter area, this condominium complex called the Brooks. There is Daruma Tavern for drinks. There's Durian Edition, obviously for durian. So yeah, you could have a nice, peaceful meal there as well. One of the later, one of those that opens later till midnight actually, is this Teochew fish porridge, Da Pai Tang. It actually is about 10 minutes walk or so from Lentor MRT station. And it's basically specializes in this like piping hot, really fresh fish soup in a clay pot. It's really good.
Thank you for your recommendations. That was food correspondent Eunice Quek. Check out Eunice's other food picks along the TEL2 on straitstimes.com. From September 8th, a vaccinated travel lane between Singapore and Germany will allow fully vaccinated people to travel between the two countries without the need for quarantine. They'll only have to undergo multiple COVID-19 PCR tests. Now, if you're considering a trip to Germany under the VTL scheme, but you're not quite sure of what to see and do there, journalist Toh Wen Li is here to share more. Wen Li, you have been to Germany. What are some places to visit and activities to do there?
Yeah, so Germany is a huge place. It's a country of more than 83 million people, so it has so much to offer, and it's not impossible to narrow down to a few selections of what to see and what to do. But if I had to name a couple, I guess Berlin would be one of the places you should visit. It's the capital of Germany, of course, and home to important historical landmarks like the Berlin Wall, Brandenburg Gate, as well as the Museum Island, where you can hop over and check out 5 different museums on that island. There's also Munich, considered one of the most livable cities in the world, and in Munich, of course, there are beer halls. You can check out the local beer, Bavarian food, and also take a train ride and bus to Neuschwanstein, which is the castle that inspired Disney's Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella castles. And also in terms of natural scenery, there's also the Rhine Gorge, the upper middle Rhine Valley, which is known for its picturesque views of castles and scenic towns. You can take a cruise down the Rhine Valley and check out the sights too. And then there are a lot of quaint cities and smaller towns in Germany, which are just very scenic and beautiful, like Heidelberg, which is home to the oldest university in Germany. Very, very charming place. As well as Rothenburg ob der Taube, which is another town in Germany, which is on the Romantic Road, a road spanning about 350 kilometers with lots of scenic sites along the way. Yes, so it's very difficult to say where exactly one should go, but these are just a couple to get you started.
Thanks, Wen Li, journalist Toh Wen Li, on places to visit and activities to do in Germany. Check out the live section for more picks by my colleagues. For more news and videos, visit straitstimes.com, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.